for the one that can do something about the situations. Doesn't matter what. I don't care if it's cancer or whatever. God can deal with that. Not just a big prayer. So this morning, if you are in agreement with me, and with what I believe that God wants to do this morning, I would like you, all of us, to lift up your hands and reach out to receive what God would have for us. And then, as we pray, I truly believe, guys, that God's going to touch somebody even in this room this morning. Are we ready? Let's do it. Let's lift our hands and we're going to worship. Jesus, you have seen these hands that have come up to receive from you. You are the great physician. This morning we have heard there's people that are dealing with cancer issues of various kinds. There's people that are dealing with physical issues. There's people that are dealing with mental issues. This morning, this very morning, as we bring this petition to you, you said in your word, you have not because you ask not. This morning, we are united. Lord, just take a good look at us. Just take a good look at the hands that are reaching out to you to receive from you. And I pray, Jesus, in your name, that you will, and even in this audience, I sort of sense that there's somebody in this audience that is physically healed. I don't know who it is. I don't even know what it is. But I just sense it. Would you just touch that individual? And those that are not here this morning, that are struggling, would you just come and touch and heal? Father, we ask you to heal physically, and Lord, most of all, we ask you to heal spiritually. Lord, there's people struggling with you, with this whole concept of Christianity. Would you make it very clear who you are, and that you love each and every one of us, no matter what. Jesus, we want to this morning offer you our praise, our worship through song, through ministry, but most of all, we want to offer you our hearts and our passions, that they would reflect who you are to us. This morning, Jesus, we believe you when you tell us that you love us with an everlasting love. And we just commit ourselves to you. We ask the Lord to bless the gift and the giver this morning. For we ask this in your mighty and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Let's stand and continue to praise God together. And as we sing this song, just make this a prayer, as we know God's here with us this morning, but we want to be receptive to His Spirit with us here, and we want to see God. So let's sing this one as a prayer.
Glory like your fire. your glory. Show us your power. Show us your glory, Lord. Show us your glory. Show us your power. Show us your glory, amazing love that welcomes me, the kindness of mercy that bought with blood wholeheartedly my soul undeserving. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. God, you're so good. You're so good to me. Behold the cross, age to age, and hour by hour. It's your breath in our lungs.
you guys doing this morning? Here's what sometimes happens when I hear stories that I really would like to share in church. I get really excited, and it's hard for me to sit. But this morning, we're going to do this, and if you've been in Pan's Chapel for a while, you know that we've done this from time to time. This is at least our third, if not fourth, or fifth time we've done this kind of thing. And we're going to do like an interview-style morning where there's not going to be a sermon. But here's what you have to know before this. I'm like, there's probably about 10 sermons worth at least that come out of this story, and my temptation would be to kind of flip over and look at you guys and see, like, are you taking notes? But I'm not going to do it. We're just going to let it happen as a conversation, and we're going to ask the Holy Spirit to look over and look at you guys and say, are you taking notes? So I'm just going to ask it right now, and then I'm going to welcome Mike and Chris to come up. Lord, we just intentionally ask you, Holy Spirit, to come and stir in our hearts and prompt us and convict us where we need convicting, and encourage us where we need encouragement, and Lord, even lead us in how we should pray for each other. Lord, come and work with us this morning. Amen. Mike and Trish, come into my living room. This is how we do things at my house. If you ever come to my and Sheila's house, we always have a cordless mic for you guys. Just double check to make sure your mic's working.
Yep, I think so.
And while I'm thinking of it, if you guys sitting over there in the corners can't see properly, you need to move over here. Same with you guys. So now I've told you that. That just rule out that complaint. So here we go. I think, why do we do mornings like this? Why would we even have an interview style session in the morning, and why would we pick Mike and Trish? That's a good question, right? Here's what I know. Sometimes we listen to programs on the radio or TV, whatever, and we get to see a little snippet into somebody's life, and we go, man, that person has an amazing story. And then 45 minutes later it's gone, and we never hear from those people again. We don't know what their life was like prior. We don't know what their life was like after. All we hear is that little snippet. Today we have a chance to hear actually a cool story about real people. People that we have seen in this church for a lot of years. If this was really my living room, I would have definitely said something. And we get to see, so we know Mike and Trish from the past. We know where Mike and Trish, we get to see them today. And Lord willing, we're going to get to see them next year and the year after that and walk with them from here. And that's why this is such an impactful thing, because right now in their lives, Mike and Trish have a story to tell. They're not perfect. I've known them each for a long time. I can tell you they're not perfect. And so, what I got. Okay, there you go. Truth is out. And so, but here's what we get to see. We get to see actually a story that is full of very intentional, costly obedience. And that's a story worth sharing. And that's what I want to get out of Mike and Trish this morning. And but before we get there, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you guys are? I just said you've been in the church for a long time. Tell us who you are.
I am Mike Brown. My father is Dennis Brown. My mom is Betty Brown. I've been in this church since I was 5 years old, so I grew up here. And I married Trish in 2000, and I think we both started attending that full time.
Yeah, and I grew up in St. Clair, and I'm the daughter of Ray and Anita Gagne, who are here this morning. And I think when we started dating, not long into dating, I actually started attending here. And so back when the sanctuary was on the other side and we were a handful of people in church, that was when we were already building relationships with people from here. So.
That's good. So just to fast forward, I understand, like, so in a morning like this, we can't get an entire life story jammed into a couple minutes here, but just to kind of fast forward through this a little bit, up till about a year ago, if I was to paint a picture, you guys tell me if this is kind of close to right, but if I was to paint a picture of you guys' life, each of you has, you've been married since, what did you say, what year did you say? 2000? So they've been married for a while, they have some, and they're still married, and I would describe that as a good thing. You've got 2 boys, healthy boys, 13 and 11, and you have each had a career, the same career for a while, and I would just say that there's, each of that would be a successful career, and probably got some money saved up for retirement, and so you're living this kind of perfect life, or as close to perfect, or kind of the goal of what a lot of people aspire to. Is that a kind of a close picture?
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would be, and I would have said that was the goal, and that was everything that we did in our life was to set ourselves up to do that, and we were doing that, and that was exactly the course we were on.
And so, and I know that approximately a year ago, something changed significantly, and that's the story we want to pull out of you guys today. What changed? What's changed in the last year?
Everything? Almost everything. I'd say about, if we want to start the story, we've moved, we've become country browns, which is just bizarre to most people who know us, because I've only ever lived in town in my life, and so we have like pets, and we got a tractor this week, and we have like a garden and things, which is awfully bizarre. But that was all prompted because we feel called to adopt some kids, and so we knew that we needed more space, and the house that we thought we had built for our very comfortable life and our exactly what we had planned for apparently isn't for us, so it's for someone else to enjoy. And so we moved out of town and found a house that we didn't even know existed, and so we were kind of starting that next phase prompted by that also started with the calling to adopt some kids.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you might notice I might be the talker. It'll be the only time he does that. We actually had some moments of fellowship this week when we were trying to recollect exactly kind of the steps of how this came to happen, and we don't really remember exactly the same, so I think that's interesting. And I was journaling, so I kind of trust that what I remember is maybe more accurate, but it may be that I made up some pieces along the way. But I think the call, I felt this stirring for a while that we were getting a little too comfortable, and I don't know how else to explain that except that we were, giving to things and we were participating in church, and it was all good. It was all stuff that was really important. But that didn't seem to quite be enough, and I started stirring. There was some conversations Mike and I had about our kids and what we were seeing in them and in ourselves, and we thought, man, like, are we on the right track? I don't know. The idea of adoption came up pretty early, but like it seems really not a great option. It's quite like life disturbing and disrupting and expensive and lots of things. And I thought, I don't really have the emotional capacity to deal with that. And so I was quite willing to kind of push that aside out of my brain as much as possible. God, I guess, didn't feel the need to push it out of my brain as much as I would have liked. And it kept coming up in so many circumstances. There was a stage where probably within about a month's time where 3 different instances happened very directly to me around kids. And someone came to the door one day and knocked, and it was a foster kid that Mike and I had interacted with years ago. I hadn't seen him in a long time, actually. He came just to say hi and to give us a hug and to thank us for how we had impacted him at that stage in his life, and we actually had no idea that was an issue, that we had impacted him, and so that was kind of surprising to me because it was quite out of the blue. During some of my devotion time, there was just some words and some thoughts that came that were very specific around kids and orphans and doing better than what I was doing and stirring. So I kind of knew something was coming, but I think in our very comfortable lifestyles that we're in, it's always easier just to ignore that and to stay in a state of like I can ignore being like that little thing going on in my brain because that doesn't feel very good. But then I came to church one Sunday morning and the stage was like set up very similar to this morning, and Rob and Sharon Steves were here. And I had actually never met Rob and Sharon before. And so those of you who are here will remember. And I thought, why are they talking about adoption? Like, I've never heard Dylan talk about adoption during church before. And I thought, this can't be. Like, I felt, the only way I could describe it was like a car crash. It was like all these things coming together at once. And all the reasons in my head where I said, like, we can't do this. We're way too old to adopt kids. We are, like, it is going to be so disruptive and all these things. And each of those items that I had said were things that they addressed in their talk. And I've shared that with them before because we've become very good friends since then, thank goodness. But that was such an impactful day for me. Mike wasn't here in church that Sunday, but I'm apologizing to the people around me that were sitting on that side of the church because I was a bit of a mess, and I was probably a bit of a crazy person that morning because I kept looking up into the sky and like shaking my head because I said like does anyone else hear this? Like, is this just for me, or like what is happening here? And I was just a mess. By the time the kids came up at the very end, I was like a puddle on the floor. Knowing that obviously was something about that story was what we were being called to obedience. But Mike wasn't there that day, and so I knew that huge an experience and such a huge disruption to our home couldn't just be a calling for me. It had to be, he would have to experience something similar as a calling for it to disrupt our lives in the way that it would. So, share your story.
I'm just going to slip in a loaded question. Okay, so in what you're describing as a car crash scene or something where you kind of have an opportunity either to ignore it or deal with it almost like an emergency. If I was to put words in your mouth and say that God spoke to you, would you agree with those words, or is that an accurate description? How would you describe that in your own words?
I would say until that moment really in my life, I would say that God speaking to me was something that I love watching happen in other people, but wouldn't necessarily say that was something that happened to me on a regular basis at all, and if ever actually. And I've done a lot of, I've been a Christian for a long time, and I've done a lot of things, but I just, that's good, like hearing God and God speaks, and I believe it in theory, but like he just maybe not to me. So that's okay, and I was okay with that because I love celebrating with other people. But that moment, I have to say that was God speaking, because I'd be pretty deaf if I didn't hear that one.
And so then I think this is the fascinating part of the story, is because you hear God speaking really clearly on a Sunday morning, like life-changing direction. But Mike's not there. That's going to be interesting. So Mike, you pick up the story. Tell us what's going on in your world.
So I'm really uncomfortable talking about this. But I had a personal moment for sure. I would have been, maybe I still am. Lots of you who know me know that I'm super cynical about hearing God. I believe it can happen, I just have never had the same experiences that I hear about. But in this case, I would say that it was maybe in April already. That thought came into my mind that we need to adopt. Not only that we need to adopt, but that I even knew where from. And it was a thought. It was a crazy, stupid thought, and I threw it away. And the next day, there was 2 or 3 more thoughts. And I did the same thing, and maybe it was a week or 2 into it. It was like a oppressive, heavy weight in my mind that occupied every space. That's all I could think about. And so I thought, okay, this is insane. I'm just going to talk to Trish. And the moment I mentioned it to Trish, it was just gone. And that's kind of how it was for me. So that was maybe the most personal moment I've ever had with God or really anybody. And it's a bit hard for me to share, it's a bit emotional, but that would be my side of that time. Yeah.
I guess the most exciting part is the timing that happened, because the day that he came to talk to me and said it out loud was the day after the church service. It was the very next day, and I had left church that morning, and I thought, like, how am I going to explain this feeling to Mike? Because, like, it is, like, I need to share it. I need to say everything about it. I need to just tell him. And probably for maybe the only wise moment of my life, I shut up, which, like, doesn't happen very often. So I thought, you know what, this is too big a deal. I'm going to pray about it, and I'm going to actually not talk about it and let God handle it. And so when he came to me the very next day and said, look, I think we need to do something about this, like, I think I had the phone in my hand already. I was like dialing the adoption agency because I was, I don't think it happens like that always with God. The timing is so fast and such an answer to prayer so immediate, but in that case it was. So it was really hard to deny that was the direction we were supposed to be going in.
I love it. I love that. I love how personal God is. How He speaks to you, speaks like that. Mike, you mentioned that you knew where the adoption was going to happen, or where you were going to go to adopt kids, and also recognizing that this adoption hasn't happened, but clearly over the last year you've set a lot of things in place that are leading up to obeying that call from God. There's a lot of places where a person can go to adopt somebody. Why don't you tell us where you're planning to go and how that came about?
I knew right away that we were being called to attempt to adopt from Ukraine. That would be my side of that story. Trish felt a little different, but and I think this is very important to note even for me. We've been called to do this. I don't doubt it one little bit. That doesn't even mean that we've been called to succeed in this. The calling is to step out in faith, and I feel like that is what we're doing, and we're hoping and praying for success, but that success is not guaranteed. That is not actually part of the journey, and I think that's, for me in my mind, a clear distinction to make.
Yeah, I did not know Ukraine. I actually would have said not Ukraine first, because my logical part of my brain was like, well, maybe local adoption, because there's lots of needs here. Maybe it's fostering. Maybe it's from Haiti, because at least I speak French, and that could be helpful to have to speak the language that your kid speaks. Maybe Bulgaria, because they have a really short in-country time, and that seemed more convenient for me to not have to be away for so long. So I actually didn't know it was Ukraine until the day we left the adoption agency. And so after I made the call, we went to both adoption agencies on the same day that do international adoption in Manitoba. And we went to the first place, and it was, like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like, no one should drive there, no one should go to that part of Winnipeg ever. And it was like a dingy, like paint was peeling off the walls, like the equipment was from like the first printer ever made. I knew they were not making money off of us, so I knew right away that that's not where their money was being spent. So, but I is this even a legitimate business, or it didn't feel great. And so when we walked in, we spent some time sharing and visiting, learning about the agency. Then we went to the second one, and that one was like really slick. It had like the fancy like Anne Getty's baby pictures, like from all the countries all over the walls, and like the PowerPoints and the handouts, and like exactly how I would do it if it was my like show to put on. And so I thought, you know what, this place, like they've got it together. And we heard their presentations, and I don't know how to explain it, except I felt like this is not right. This did not feel right for some reason. And we left the second place, and it was silence in the truck for like almost the whole ride home. And I remember, I think I started talking, and I said, so like what are we doing? what are we doing here? And I think it was at the same time. We both said, yeah, the first place that we're going to Ukraine. And I said Ukraine out loud. I was like, what? Why am I going? I don't want to go there. Like, I had no interest in it, but I just knew that day that that's where we were going. So I remember calling Sharon afterwards, and you've never heard someone so happy when I said Ukraine is when I called my friend Sharon over there, who has such a heart for kids from Ukraine. So I was surprised. He was never surprised, but I was very surprised at that actual response.
So I just want to, in case there's people here who don't know Mike Patricia super well, there could be, about a year ago, we heard a similar story from Rob and Sharon Steves, also have adopted kids from the Ukraine. Mike, I just want you to touch on this for a second. For the people who might be thinking, oh, that's really cute, you guys, you heard their story about the Ukraine, and so that's why you guys went to Ukraine, because clearly, you guys just follow along, and you love to follow the crowd, and all this kind of stuff. You want to just touch on that, Mike?
I never follow the crowd. I don't know the Steves either. I know them very well now. I did not know them then. I did not know that story. I had no connection to Ukraine, so I never heard about it until after I talked to Trish, and then she lost her marbles, so there was that. But no, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think I would say you and I are both not like super emotional, although this last year I would probably beg to differ, because I think the floodgates have opened in my life. But we're pretty logical and goal-oriented human beings, and so we're not always very easily persuaded by like the heartfelt stuff quite as easily. And so, I mean, other than what we know our story to be, it's hard to people can say that, I guess, if they want, if that's what happened, but we would know otherwise. So.
Sure. So you've made you guys come to this conclusion. God's calling you in this direction, specifically to the Ukraine. Now you've got to start lining things up, and there's lots of decisions and forms and papers and offices and all these kinds of different things. As you start talking to people in your life, what kind of responses do you get when you tell people this change of direction in your life?
Well, I'm doing good things. So I think it was the day we came back from the adoption agency. The next morning we submitted our application. So it was Mike talking to me about it, agency's submission of application, like really, really fast. And we get told right after we submit that we have to have 4 references. And I said to Michael, we have to say it out loud to 4 people that we're doing this? Like, we have to tell people, right? We can't even believe we're doing this ourselves, and we have to say it out loud. And you are all here this morning, those of you who we had to tell. So you were so gracious, and you didn't laugh at us. But I remember laughing out loud when I said it, because I said, this sounds ridiculous for you guys, but we were like, I think we're going to do this adoption thing. And everyone was like so lovely, and we have such good friends. But I really thought that that was not going to be our experience all along with all of our friends, because it just seemed so ridiculous to me. And so we have been incredibly fortunate with our friends in our circle and our church, who has been so supportive, and our family. But I will say there are definitely kind of 3 camps of people that we've noticed. There's the people who are like the cheerleaders, the ones who like are so encouraging and who want to bring meals, or they want to collect clothes and want to bring new beds over and all those things. And they've been really so great for us.